poetry, news writing, and editorial writing will be on May 12th. The workshop for monologue will be held on May 13. What are you waiting for? Register now and be a part in this harvest of arts and culture, ANIA, Harvest of Arts Festival. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022. On May 11, there will be a LaSallian Family Days Mass at 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. at the University Chapel. After the Mass is the official launching of Panaglambigit 2022. VMS and ILO, webinars, workshops, and wellness, launching of booths, and ANIA LaSalle Harvest of the Arts Festival. On the same day, the booths will officially open at 1 p.m. Simultaneously, there will be a jumpstart for student leadership webinar for LSU's partner schools. One Talks 2.0, conversations on the university life amidst the pandemic and beyond. Customer service training and orientation for safety and security frontliners. Stand for Children, empowering youth's rights. For ANIA workshops, sulAtNIMO creative writing, spoken word poetry, and sulAtNIMO workshop Huni sa Balay home producing will be at 1:30 in the same afternoon. sulAtNIMO journalism feature writing workshop is at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. onwards, there will be a Vivo Fest 2022, parades and TikTok, USG, Move It Lasaliano, an open lyrical dance contest. A Battle for the Throne, Open ML Tournament, IS Valorant Tournament, and an Open Call of Duty Tournament. Zumba, basketball and volleyball for lay partners. To cap the day, we will be having a Kumustahan with Parents. On May 12th, we'll start off the second day of Panaglambigit 2022 with another LaSallian Family Days Mass at 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Poetry Workshop, sulAnimo Musika ug Liriko a workshop on songwriting, and sulAnimo workshop on visuals of cinema will be at 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. sulAnimo workshop on sounds of cinema and sulAtNIMO journalism workshop on news writing is at 10:30 up until 11:30 a.m. Also, starting at 9 a.m., there will be a sulAnimo film screening. This will last until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. At 1 to 4 in the afternoon is the Jumpstart for Student Leadership webinar for LSU's partner schools. And the Stand for Children Empowering Youth's Rights. At 1:30 p.m., there will be a continuation of workshops. These include sulAtNIMO Journalism Workshop on Editorial Writing, and sulAnimo Workshop on Emotions of Cinema. Vivo Fest 2022 will continue at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pause a while, Duaanay ug Duawanay, Song and a Picture, and TikTok will be there too. Along with this is the University Student Government and the Integrated School Student Government's Synchronimo Open Lip Sync Battle, and another Battle for the Throne, Open ML Tournament, IS Valorant Tournament, and a USG Open Call of Duty Tournament. There will also be another round for Zumba, basketball, and volleyball for lay partners. The third day of Panaglambigit 2022 will start off with environmental stewardship at 9 to 10 a.m. Simultaneous to this is sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Monologue Workshop. At 10 a.m., there will be a session about coping up with the new normal realities of student life with Brew Zone. Activities for the afternoon include Stand for Children Empowering Youth's Rights and an orphanage visitation from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Lasallian Family and Feast Day Mass will be at 2 to 3 p.m. in the same afternoon. Finally, at 3 p.m. will be the start of the celebration of winners. Starting off with Bentugan Awards 2022 and Ania LaSalle Harvest of the Arts Festival Awards. This is followed by Balay-Bala Year-End Kumustahan, the acknowledgement of newly accredited organizations and accomplished organizations, and the launching of Lasallian Athletes Academy and Lasallian Artists Academy. On the last day of Panaglambigit 2022, we will start early at dawn. At 4:30 a.m., we'll commence the Animove Bike to Heal, starting off from the Malindang Golf Course of Bagakay up until Gala at La Ferme. Lastly, at 9 a.m. is the E-Run awarding and recognition in Gala La Ferme. And that concludes our list of schedule and activities for Panaglambigit 2022. Be a part of this fun celebration. Register in workshops, webinars, and wellness programs. Participate in games and win awards. This is Panaglambigit 2022. Animo Lasal. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days, building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022, collect 6 badges to gain 1 entry to be one of the 16 lucky winners daily. The winners will receive Panaglambigit special prizes. This is open to all members of the Lasallian community. Join in any activity or participate in any booths available online or on-site to earn badges. Accomplish an attendance form and evaluation form participated in to be awarded 1 badge. Or complete a transaction in any official booths online or on-site by answering a form to earn 1 badge. Expect to receive a corresponding badge at your official LSU email address after accomplishing each form from the activity or booth. Note that participants can only earn 1 badge for 1 activity or booth at a time, even if there is another participation or transaction with the same activity or booth. Complete the 6 badges to automatically receive 1 entry in the daily raffle that will be drawn during the open stage from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Earn more than 6 badges to increase your chances of winning the daily raffle. Note that the badges earned for the day will only be valid on that day. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days, building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022, Ania LaSalle Harvest of the Arts Festival. Ania is a Cebuano term that literally means there is, and it bears another Cebuano term, ani, which means harvest. Also, A in Ania is purposely separated to represent an acronym that means arts. And so, Ania is a festival suggesting that there is harvest of arts in this part of Mindanao. This year's Ania is celebrated during the month of the Founders Feast, St. John Baptist de La Salle, with 3 major sub-festivals, sulAtNIMO, sulAtNIMO, and sulAtNIMO. sulAtNIMO 6 is a digital short film festival in northern Mindanao that highlights unique regional stories, local tales, and world truths. sulAtNIMO involves diverse Bisaya songwriters both in LaSalle University and the regions of northwestern Mindanao. Lastly, sulAtNIMO holds a series of programs including educational workshops in the fields of creative writing and journalism. For sulAtNIMO, workshops and talks will be held on these dates. On May 12, we have workshops on visuals of cinema, sounds of cinema, and emotions of cinema. On May 17 will be film talks on A Glimpse of Regional Filmmaking, Status Quo and its Perspectives, and Film Appreciation Talk, Paano ba manood ng pelikula? For sulAtNIMO, Huni sa Balay, a workshop on home producing, will be on May 11. On May 12 will be Musika ug Liriko, a workshop on songwriting. Lastly, sulAtNIMO will hold its workshops on the following dates. Workshops on spoken word poetry and feature writing will be held on May 11. Workshops on poetry, News writing and editorial writing will be on May 12. The workshop for monologue will be held on May 13. What are you waiting for? Register now and be a part in this harvest of arts and culture, ANIA, Harvest of Arts Festival. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022.
Hello, friends and sulAtNIMOs. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all of you. Please be with us and get ready for a fun and exciting day ahead of us. My request, everyone, if it's possible, to please turn on your cameras for us to have a more interactive discussion, even in virtual space. Now, to formally start our workshop, we request everyone to please mute your microphones for our opening prayer. Now let us put ourselves in the most holy presence of God, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit. ANIA, LaSalle Harvest of the Arts Festival. sulAtNIMO holds a series of programs including educational workshops in the fields of creative writing and journalism.
Let me be the change I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom all that needs to be done, and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitation. Let the courage and spirit to face the challenge. Start the change I want to see. I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not alive, I can be a spark. Service and for you alone. Let us start the change we want to see. The change that begins in me. Today I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not alive, change we want to see, the change that begins in Jesus in us, Jesus in
All right. Hello and good afternoon, participants. I welcome you all to sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Spoken Poetry Workshop. At this point, let us welcome Dr. Philemon Bonita Blanco for the opening remarks through a video presentation.
ANIA LaSalle Harvest of the Arts Festival. sulAtNIMO holds a series of programs including educational workshops in the fields of creative writing and journalism.
sulAtNIMO. I conceptualized sulAtNIMO in 2019. I had a conversation with Sergis Montes, who was then at the time the director of the Miguel Writing Center of LaSalle University. And initially, when we had that, sometimes I always start creating projects over, simple conversations. And then suddenly, ding, again, then suddenly we thought of, I was very interested at the time to really develop a writing festival, a writing project for LaSalle University. And when Sergis approached me that he wanted to develop a writing workshop that the Miguel Writing Center, the MWC at the time, will spearhead. And that's when I said, okay, then we'll have a writing project. And that's when I started, I always wanted to bring the Animo branding. And that's when I coined the term sulAtNIMO. With this, I started contacting my good friend Juan Iquez, Christian values in real life, to come to Osamis to conduct the first ever sulAtNIMO in November 2019. And that was the birth of sulAtNIMO. At the time, when I had a discussion with Sergis, we wanted that the output of sulAtNIMO will be staged into a production, and it can be either the family days or in the university days. And then I was pushing that idea of, it can be from sulAtNIMO to dulAtNIMO. So you have the output of sulAtNIMO will now be staged, will be mounted into a festival of performances, which we will call at dulAtNIMO. Now, unfortunately, pandemic came. So in November 2019, it only happened. And then, when the pandemic hit, we were on standstill. So that idea of producing whatever that will be developed from the sulAtNIMO and, kind of mentoring of the students of LaSalle who participated during that first workshop, that they will be able to create sort of 10-minute plays. Then eventually we can be staged it as a dulAtNIMO, and that was the trajectory of sulAtNIMO. I think that is for me what really inspires me to push through with sulAtNIMO, especially that it's not only me alone, but I have a partner who believes in this inside the university, Sergis, being the director of the MWC at the time. And I know that we will go somewhere with this project. It became easier on my part because the MWC with the LSU Tingo, they become the organizers. They manage the whole event. So I was there just to really guide them what to do next, what to prepare next. In the students, student writers of Elisha Tingog, and of course under the MWC, they were there to support the conduct of sulAtNIMO. And that made my life easier because I was just there to facilitate, things that are needed. But the guys, the writers, were there to support, manage. We're there to manage the whole event. I think the success story of that first ever sulAtNIMO is that idea that we are able to present to the world that LaSalle University can organize a writing workshop, and eventually that we can invite experts from outside of Osamis to come to LaSalle University to facilitate or to train our aspiring writers in the area. I am hoping that sulAtNIMO, with now, we under the new festival management now, and making it as a writing festival, that it will create more ripples. It will encourage more writers. I know that we have good writers in the area, in LaSalle University, for example. But again, there are no platforms for them. Of course, there are many writing festivals, writing workshops outside Osamis. But, for practicality's sake, it's difficult financially. But with sulAtNIMO, we can bring in experts in the field, in writing, in writing plays, in poetry, and the likes, to come to Osamis, to come to LaSalle University, and conduct these trainings or workshop for our young writers in the area. And I think, again, we position our LaSalle University position as, again, a center for culture and the arts in this part of the country. And we are not only providing, we are providing the young writers in the area through this festival. So they don't have to really go to, far, like maybe Iligan with the Iligan National Writers Workshop, or even in Bacolod, or maybe in Manila, but we can bring experts to come in positioning LaSalle University as an organizer of a writing festival in this part of the country. So I am hoping that in the future, that idea of sulAtNIMO and the trajectory to sulAtNIMO will be realized in the future. And that's my wish for sulAtNIMO, to follow that trajectory, that from sulAtNIMO, the students will be mentored to develop original scripts, and then eventually will be staged to what we call as sulAtNIMO, or a play festival. I am Felimon Blanco, the founder of sulAtNIMO, and I am formally turning over the festival management of sulAtNIMO to the LSU Educational and Digital Media Services team, headed by Mr. Ted Najantakan. I am wishing that you continue providing, creating platforms for the young writers in the area, and really pushing for the students to write, and let their works be staged in the future under sulAtNIMO. Congratulations, way to go, sulAtNIMO. Thank you. I am forever Lasallian, Animo LaSalle.
sulAtNIMO holds a series of programs including educational workshops in the fields of creative writing and journalism.
Thank you for the very informative talk, Sermon. At this stage, let us now watch a video presentation to formally introduce our guest speaker for this workshop.
July Orozco considers herself a spoken word poetry enthusiast. Though she is an associate software engineer by profession, she spends most of her leisure time reading and writing poems. Growing up facing with mental battles, July was so familiar with sorrow. Hence, she aspires to use poetry as a tool to express and connect with people with the same experience, with high hopes to give them a safe space where they feel heard and validated. Currently, July is working on the release of her debut poetry book, and this is how it ends, and her first spoken word album entitled Dear Michael. July believes that the main goal of spoken word poetry is to drive connection between the poet and the listener, not only through words and vibration, but also through the heart.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Chid. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Great. So, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, kinakabahan ako ngayon. I don't know why, but I feel nervous. At the same time, grateful because I'm given the privilege to speak and conduct a workshop. Before I get started, I'll just introduce myself again. I'm July Orozco. You can call me July or Ate July. And I'm also from LaSalle. I graduated like 2 years ago. And I'm pretty sure na may mga familiar faces na nag-join dito sa call. So, hi everyone. I'm 22 by the way, and I'm in Cebu. So, I really appreciate you guys joining in. And I know na yung profession ka talaga is very different from what we're gonna be talking about this afternoon. Hindi rin ako like English major or anything like that. But I know for sure that I am passionate about this, and I think that's enough. Na you can make time for what's like burning inside you. So ayun, I really appreciate you guys joining in. And if I'm not mistaken, we are all spoken word enthusiasts here. That's why we're here nga, diba? That's why you guys are here because we're interested to know more about spoken word poetry. So yung gusto ko lang talaga sa workshop na to is siguro yung chill lang, parang yung parang magkwentuhan lang tayo at the same time we're learning. So yeah. So before we dive into deeper with our topic, I have a question. What comes into your mind when you hear the word poetry? Anyone? If walang magsasalita, ako yung tatawag. Sige. Okay. Hi, Neil.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
So what comes into your mind, Neil, when you hear the word poetry? Or kahit yung simpleng word lang or phrase. Ganon.
Yung sumagi talaga sa isip ko is feelings po.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, yes. I love that. So can you please call another name, Neil?
Okay po. Cynthia Villasin.
Oh yeah, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. What comes into my mind when I hear the word poetry? The first thing, Jude, is that it's literature.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a literature, and then the next thing that came into my mind just a while back is more of raids that that has a story to tell.
I love
Yeah.
that storytelling. Thank you so much, Neil and Cynthia. So, for me naman, pag nababasa ko talaga or naiisip ko yung word na poetry, yung naiisip ko agad is the word beautiful. I don't know. I really think that there's so much like beauty in poetry. There's so much beauty in allowing yourself to be like open or vulnerable, or like there's so much bravery in expressing yourself through poetry. You know, it takes so much courage to like do that. Agree ba kayo dyan? Or ako lang to? Char. Agree kayo, guys?
Agree.
Yes, di ba? Ayan, may nagsasalita na. I'm so happy. Oh my God. Tayo lang naman to, guys. So, participate. So, how did I get into poetry? So, parang ano lang, short background. So, alam niyo yun, before we get into like a particular thing or passion, like, parang may, yung na-mention nga kanina ni Sir, na parang ting moment, yung ganon, like yung parang trigger siya. And it doesn't have to be like extraordinary na moment. Kasi some moments are like very simple lang. Like for example, kwento ko lang din sa inyo yung nangyari sa amin 2 weeks ago. Na nag-karaoke. Tapos, I have that workmate. He's a dude. Tapos, at first, nasa lang siya, like nasa gilid, like very silent lang. Tapos nung turn niya na kumanta, like gulat kaming lahat kasi halimaw pala siya. Like halimaw, grabe siya, like grabe yung boses niya. Alam niyo yung song na The Prayer, yung I pray you'll be alright. Yun yung
Wow.
charot, yun yung kinanta niya. Like, di ba, yung singer nun is parang lalaki and babae. So, dalawang boses. And to our surprise, nagawa niya talaga yung like yung dalawang like shock na shock kami. Tapos when we asked him kung paano siya nag-start, ang sabi niya lang is, nung bata pa raw siya, like when he was like 6 or 7, iniiwan daw siya ng mom niya. Iniiwan siya ng mom niya with a radio. Tapos siya lang yung mag-isa sa bahay. Tapos yung ginagawa niya, pag may nagpapatugtog or may music on play, ginagaya niya yung boses. Ginagaya niya yung like, for example, si Regine, ganon. Ginagaya niya yung boses, babae, lalaki. Tapos hanggang sa paglaki niya, parang nakuha niya. And then, nung tinanong talaga namin siya, sabi niya parang hindi naman talent yun. Pero, like, if you think about it, yun yung parang ting moment niya. Yung parang trigger. Yung lagi siyang naiiwan before. Na masasabi natin na talaga, like, there's something. So, sa akin naman, how did I get into poetry? Di ba? Ang layo na ng narating natin. So, sa akin is that, growing up, I feel like I was that kid na shy lang, like yung nasa gilid, yung gano'n. Tapos ever since like kinder until grade 6, consistent talaga ako na most behaved kasi hindi talaga ako nagsasalita. Hindi ako yung classmate mo na yung pabida na charot pabida. Like yung palaging nagsasalita, ako nagsasalita lang ako whenever I get asked. Ganon. Tapos, nung first year high school ako, dun ako nag-start na, magka-crush. Dun ako nag-start magka-crush. Tapos, first year high school din, when I watched this movie called Crazy Little Thing Called Love. I don't know if you're familiar sa movie na yan, but it was like a love story na andun si Mario Morer. So, ayun, like sulat lang, nung time na yon may crush ako. Tapos yung ginagawa ko lagi, since tahimik ako na tao, like, lang talaga, like, yung way ko sa pag-express ko ng feelings is through writing. Like, oh my God, nag-cringe ako sa first year high school self ko. But all I did nung time na yun talaga is sulat lang talaga ako ng sulat for that person or about that person. Tapos, Tapos, one interesting fact siguro is that, interesting talaga, Char. Uh, Growing up, walang alam, like, no one knows I'm writing. Except siguro for the friends that I made dun sa online platform na like pinagsusulatan ko, which is Wattpad. I know, familiar tayong lahat dyan. And I'm pretty sure na may iba dito na nag-Wattpad before. So ayun, hindi nila alam yung mga friends ko outside. Tapos hindi ko rin talagang pinapaalam kasi natatakot ako, I guess, to be judged. Tapos ilang taon pa ako nun, like 11 years old. Tapos masyadong daming ganap, masyadong hopeless romantic, masyadong lover girl, tapos minsan naman nag-switch to sad girl, ganon. So, almost 10 years talaga, almost 10 years, like, tinatago ko yung mga gawa ko. But when I reached mga third year college na siguro, that's when I started to put my work out there. And right now, na 22 ako, and like, to be honest, as I look back, masasabi kong yung ting moment ko is the first time that I got infatuated several years back. So that's where or how I became like a love poet, as you may call that. So I'm gonna be showing you a 1-minute video. This is something that I made like para sa crush ko. And I hope you guys will like it.
I want to know everything about you. I mean, not just your song artist. I meant this as everything. I want to trace my fingers into the beauty of your scars and uncover your deepest secrets. From the mystique behind the mark in your forehead down to the mystery locked between those beautiful beady eyes. I want to know about the songs you play before you sleep, your worst memory in childhood, the very first word you spoke. I want to know what mornings made you feel like. I want to know what comes to your mind when you see the night sky filled with stars, or when the warm light of sun kisses your cheek. I want to know every bit of you. And my love, I hope you'd allow me to.
So ano yung na-feel nyo guys while watching it? I just want to know.
11:43 p.m.
What is that?
Today is a really...
So what was your like impression or ano yung naisip nyo while watching it? Hello? Hi guys. Yes, Perlin? I'm sorry. So ayun, the goal talaga for that like poetry is to make people feel kilig. And I don't know if you have felt it, but na-feel ko kaya. So, yun yung isa sa mga factors na kinonsider ko talaga while writing, the feels. And then for the workshop objectives, so these are the things that we're gonna be discussing today. So first is to have a better understanding of spoken word poetry as a way to express oneself.
Oh yeah, I think I've lost it. Sorry. Wait lang, share screen ako ulit. Kaya pala nagsasalita ako, tas walang nagre-respond. Sorry
I
for
guess
that,
the
guys.
internet.
I think
Sorry.
intermittent talaga yung connection ko. So where did we stop? Abutan ba natin to?
Yeah, workshop objectives.
Okay, so let's proceed na lang here. So from the description itself, spoken word poetry, it is a word-based performance art where speakers engage in powerful self-expression by sharing their views on particular topics for an audience, focusing on sound and presentation. So I really believe that spoken word poetry is about sharing your story to the people. It's more of, it's an art. It's an art of self-expression. Tapos, yung key factors talaga that you really have to prioritize is how you deliver it through sound or your voice, and also the presentation, like your gestures, your facial expressions, tapos eye contact, ganon. Your eyes must be able to tell the story. So spoken word performances require memorization, performance body language. So this is the one that I mentioned earlier, enunciation and eye contact with viewers. Spoken word poetry doesn't have the rhyme. So I think this is one of the most commonly asked questions. Does poetry really have the rhyme? The answer to that is obviously no. But it's a bonus if you can make it like that. It's a plus if you can play with words na yung nag-rhyme talaga siya, but it's not required. Kumbaga, it just adds rhythm to your piece. Kumbaga, palamuti siya. If sa chow fan pa, parang parang siya yung siomai, yung like gets sorry. Parang siyang like yung siomai sa chow fan. So ayun. Kumbaga palamuti lang talaga siya, pampaganda. Uh, it is to emphasize an image or give the piece a lyrical quality. I think lang no, one of the most important thing lang din is the piece, it has to be like honest, and it has to like make a point. It must have a message, a strong message that will make your audience feel or experience something. Kahit hindi nila na-experience yun, but just listening to you, just watching you, parang na-experience na rin nila. So you give your audience a touch of that. So spoken word poetry is a natural evolution of humans' needs to convey messages through captivating stories. So I want someone to like explain this. So can I have Angelica? Kahit yung simpleng explanation lang, like what do you understand sa phrase na to or sa statement na to? Wala siya. Sige, I'll just call Charis. Yeah, Charis. No pressure to guys ha. Tayo lang din naman to. Okay lang yan.
Para sa'kin ang parang ibig sabihin nito is like, it's just another way of, telling stories but in a creative way.
Yeah.
But more on the emphasizing on the feelings, like you can emphasize anything like anger or happiness or about love or about grief and such.
Yes. On point.
Very good. I really love that answer, Charis. So, paki-PM na lang ako sa Facebook, ha? Charis, after this. Thank you so much for that. I really love your answer. So, as what Charis has mentioned, a spoken word poetry, it is like telling a story. So, first ano pa lang niya, like, uy, I love this. So, it's like telling a story. Maybe your story, or it may be somebody else's, like, it doesn't matter. But the fact that you're sharing a story, and it's really important din na since you're trying to convey a message, it must be understood by your audience. Kasi, sino ba naman yung gustong lagi kang nagsasalita tapos wala nang nakakaintindi, di ba? Walang nakakaintindi tao sa'yo. So, in order to do that, in order to achieve that, we must have this one goal in mind. It is to be able to communicate your feelings, thoughts, life events, and or intellectual ideas to the audience in a clear and concise manner. So that's the goal of spoken word poetry, I guess. So take it or leave it na lang. It is to put your thoughts, your feelings, or your sentiments out there and making sure that the audience understood. It's like making sure that the audience can can resonate with the message that you're trying to imply or to convey. Ganun. Okay. So does poetry have any rules? So isa to sa mga questions na ina-ask ko rin sa sarili ko. May rule nga ba yung poetry? Kasi ako yun na-mention ko kanina, hindi talaga ako nag-study ng literature. So probably you might have questions there na hindi ko masasagot because hindi ko na-study talaga yung parang technicalities of this. But just to answer this question, nag-research ako. Charot. Just to answer that question, there are many forms of poetry. And each of this form, may basic rule. For example, yung sonnet. Ito ata yung isa sa mga pinaka-common. Yung sonnet is that, yung rule doon, it must have 14 lines. And then, each line must have 10 syllables. So, you need to commit to those rules for your poetry to be called a sonnet. But otherwise, hindi na siya sonnet, char. So, ayun nga. So, but the good thing is, meron ng what we call free verse. So, in free verse, this is where, as an artist, you're free to write however you want. Kaya free verse. You can write depending on your own style, if gusto mo siyang mag-rhyme or not. You're free to play the words. And ito rin ata yung usually na ginagamit ng mga tao ngayon. Yung just a generation natin ngayon. Free verse. And myself included. Ito rin yung ginagamit ko talaga. Kasi ayoko sa feeling na parang nalilimit ako. But if you're up for the challenge talaga, dapat for this line, it must have 10 syllables, sub-syllables, ganon. Okay lang din, that's really impressive. Kasi makakaya niya. Pero ako hindi. For self-expression lang talaga yung sa akin.
So guys, are you still there? I guess our speaker, Miss July, is having trouble. or technical error. Let's just wait for her. While waiting for our speaker to get back to the meet, let's just be entertained with this video. For a while, guys, the internet connection is very slow.
Hello guys, I'm really sorry for that.
It's okay, Miss Speaker, Miss July.
So where did I stop? I think dito sa part na to, no?
Yes, Miss.
So there is still one valuable guideline in writing or creating poetry. It is to write to your audience. So I think that the only part where I can say that I failed as an artist is when I don't get to, like hindi ko na-convey yung message na gusto kong iparating sa tao. That's why before I publish something on the internet, I really make sure na it's well thought out and yung message niya or yung feels niya is clear. So yun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina, put your thoughts or feelings out there and make sure that the audience understood the message. A poem may fulfill all the rules, but if it does not touch your heart, it is not a living poem. So ito yung nakuha ko na parang quote to live by sa internet kanina while I was looking up for something. So I'm gonna be showing again another video.
I told myself to stop romanticizing pain. Yet here we are, spending most evenings at the rooftop, tracing constellations and spilling death wishes to shooting stars, finding ways to escape this demanding universe. Like James and Alyssa, through bottles of vodka and getting drunk beneath the moonlight traced. I told myself to stop romanticizing pain, but you said you love literature and so do I. And you were enraptured with cut a line and sweet goodbyes, and we just clicked. from movies down to song playlists. And I thought about this strange connection we have more often than usual. Like it's one bug that refrains my entire code to run. And I couldn't sleep nor function well because God, we were bewitched under the spell of the tracks we play. And if Augustus Waters and Hazel Grace Forever is okay, Love Hours should be same. I told myself to stop romanticizing pain, but it was some hour in Christmas midnight when everyone else was asleep, and you were gazing at the stars and discovered one that overshone. Sirius. It flickered different colors, blue, red, and white. And you said you couldn't stop smiling, and the thing inside your chest kept pounding. You almost lost breath as you stared at it. And I never told you that I was looking up, and God, I almost got lost too. I told myself to stop romanticizing pain, but here you are, a boy with mysterious eyes overcrowded with secrets and sadness staring back at me. And for some reasons, I want to peel off every shudder of agony making home in your body and pin them against the walls like paintings of Van Gogh in art museums or in bars, and you will see that you are still beautiful with all your scars. I told myself to stop romanticizing pain, but here we are, together, imprisoned by our own repulsive thoughts, our hearts caged as our minds wandered in this little infinity. And at the edge of it all, I jumped. And if ever I lose you one of these days, and if by chance you couldn't keep me, don't fret. Just keep my secrets instead. I told myself to stop romanticizing pain, but it took me more hours, more seconds to realize you're exactly the pain I'm romanticizing about. And for some reasons, I couldn't stop.
Kinikilig ako. Ba't ganon? Or ako lang ba? Ako lang ba ulit?
I told myself to
So let's jump to the exciting part. Papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part. So, the creative process and tips in writing and performing spoken word poetry. So I actually have divided this into like four sections. The first one is like choosing a topic for your piece, and then writing it, and then polishing it, and then finally in performing it. So these are just the tips that I'll be giving out na nag-work sa akin, and hopefully makatulong din sa inyo. So in picking the topic of your piece, so you can choose a topic that triggers a strong feeling or opinion. So ano ba yung something na parang nagsa-spark ng something in you? Ano ba yung something na nagsa-spark is something in you? So maybe you go for a topic that makes you angry, like war, poverty, or loss. Or pwede yung something na makes you excited, like love, desire, or friendship. Think of a topic that you feel you can explore in depth with passion. You can also respond to a troubling question or idea. You can pick up a question that makes you feel unsettled or curious. For example, yung question na, what are you most afraid of? Ano ba yung something na you're scared of? Na yung you find something na hindi ko mabigkas yung Tagalog. Yung pinakatatakutan mo, like for example, losing a loved one. Ganon. And then from there, you write a detailed response to create the spoken word piece. So you really have to know what you really want to put out there. You have to know your why. You have to know your end goal, para saan ba yan? Like, or para kanino ba yan? Char. You can also focus on a memorable moment or experience in your life. I think one of the things na gusto ko lang din i-emphasize in like performing writing or creating spoken word poetry is relatability. And then you can also watch videos of spoken word pieces for inspiration. There's a lot on YouTube. We have Rudy Francisco, Sarah Kay. Yun yung mga lodi ko talaga when it comes to spoken word poetry. So you can look that up online. There's a lot of resources that you can find. Then, composing the spoken word piece. So the first question that you need to ask yourself in writing a poetry is the purpose of why you're writing it in the first place. So what was the thought or feeling or experience that you're trying to share? Ano yung feeling na gusto mong ibahagi sa mundo? Ano yung mood na you were trying to go for? Do you want your audience to be mad or to be sad, to be happy, ganon? To be in love, or maka-feel ng kilig? Because for me, my reason why I'm writing, or my vision talaga in writing is, as someone who feels things too deeply, I write to express and connect with people with the same experience, in hopes to let them know that they're not alone and that their feelings are valid. And like, to be honest lang, the only time I can tell na I succeed or I'm happy as an artist is when I get people to feel things, or like to feel comforted, and to just let them know na they're not alone. So that's really important na to ask yourself na what's your purpose in writing poetry. So another tip is to come up with a gateway line. So when you say gateway line, it's not necessarily the first line, but it could be. But it's usually found kasi in the beginning of the piece, like yung parang introduction. Kasi it tells what the piece is all about. Like for example, yung last video, yung gateway line nun is, I told myself to stop romanticizing pain. Tapos, pinaulit-ulit ko lang just to emphasize the theme. As you can see here, use repetition to reinforce an idea or image. You may try repeating the gateway line several times to remind the reader of the theme of your piece. So I can't emphasize how repetition is very important, kasi para siyang like nagbibigay ng, kung sa kanta pa, parang nagbibigay siya ng melody, like for me. So this is one tip talaga that I could give that I think is really helpful para sa pag-add ng rhythm or flow sa piece mo. So yeah, include rhyme to add flow and rhythm to the piece. Focus on sensory details and description. You may describe the topic of your piece using your 5 senses so the reader can become immersed in your story. And with strong image. So you wrap up the piece with an image that speaks your feelings. One of the things that you need to consider as a spoken word artist is how you write and deliver the intro and the outro of your piece. So the intro, it catches the attention of your audience, no? It parang sa start pa lang, dapat makatch mo na yung attention nila. So the intro catches the attention of your audience. And the outro naman, it makes them like parang may lingering feeling, yung parang, char lang. So my parang general tip lang is to focus on the outro as much as in the intro. So yun nga, to catch your audience attention and also to leave an impact. Yun pala yun, to leave an impact or a message that will make your audience like go, oh my God, or hala, hala. So there, you must leave something to your audience. So I'm gonna be showing again another video. So this one is entitled "The First Person Who Called Me Love."
The first time he called me love, I was 3, playing with cars instead of dolls. He sat across from me, held his camera, trying to make me smile. Called me lovely names, sweetheart and love, but it's only when I uttered please that I said cheese. The first time he brought me to the mall, I was 6 or 7. In a line full of beautiful dresses, he made me wear a strange colored pair of blouse and skirt. It is an army design with laces, and it was the first time I've seen him so joyful about a purchase. The very first time we fought was a rainy day in February. It was a misunderstanding that made me fuss, weep, and leave the house like a mess. Later that night, he talked to me saying, "I am sorry. Your father is just sick." It was the first time I heard him cry. When I turned 18, we almost drifted apart, as if though time has betrayed us, accelerating every moment so fast. But one evening, I came home and we conversed like the good times. And I swear it was the first time I've seen him smile after a long time. The very first time he called me love, I was only 3, and though I consider that my most beautiful memory. One day, I caught him staring intently at the mirror. So I asked, "Is there something wrong?" "Nothing." He smiled at his reflection. "I'm just happy." His gaze fixed mine, his eyes so bright, jogging, and hopeful. That was the last time I've seen him alive.
So that's basically the poetry.
Wear a strange colored.
That's basically the poem that I've specially written to my dad. God, naging emotional bigla. Hindi kasi vinyo beforehand. So ayun. So let's proceed to the third one, which is polishing the piece. So of course, your first draft, it wouldn't be perfect. Your first draft would always be messy. Yun talaga. That's why it's really important to polish it, to revise it, to make time to improve what you have. And you can start it by reading the piece aloud. So you pay attention to how it flows and whether it has a certain rhythm or style. Minsan kasi when we're writing, akala natin na it would sound good pag binigkas na. But the moment you started speaking it aloud, it becomes awkward. Awkward pala siya pakinggan. Parang hindi siya natural. So that's where you make all the necessary adjustments. And then revise the piece for flow, rhythm, and style. You may need to revise the piece several times to find the right flow and meaning. So yung iba nga, they have to slip it out pa talaga before they revise it para refresh yung utak the next day, or fresh ka. Tapos pag fresh kasi yung utak natin, mas maraming ideas. So be patient and edit as much as you need until the piece feels finished. So mahirap talaga mag-revise, but that's essential because that will help you improve your piece. So finally, in doing a spoken word performance, there are 3 tips that I could give. First talaga is memorize the piece, but do not just memorize it. You have to feel it. You have to own it. Like you own the moment because that's your spotlight. That's your story. And my message ka that you want the world to know. So you memorize it, but do not just memorize. You own it. And then use your voice to convey emotion and meaning to the audience and express yourself with eye contact and facial gestures. So as what I've mentioned earlier, BESA definition of spoken word poetry, it focuses on sound and presentation. So your voice and your facial gestures, your facial expressions will be your assets. So they must be like controlled depending sa mood ng piece mo. So for example, if your piece is about like fighting for the injustice, ganon. So your voice should be buo, or it has to be clear, strong, yung parang may pinaglalaban talaga, parang enraged ka. So your facial expression must be like strong. Tas, for example naman, if the piece is about grieving over like a loss or a death of someone, ganon. So the tone of your voice must be sad. So the audience will also feel the sadness. Ganon. So you have to control that. And same goes to like the happy pieces. So your facial expressions, it should be bright, and then your voice. So you really have to consider those things. Each poet has a unique perspective and view of the world that no one else has. So it is important that a spoken word poem embodies the courage necessary to share oneself with the rest of the world. Wait lang, parang masakit yung yung throat ko. So sorry for that. So one beautiful thing talaga is that I think every one of us here can really be a poet, because all of us are unique and we all have different stories to tell. And kung hindi mo sasabihin yung story mo, then who else will? Who else will, di ba? That's why whenever I hear the word poetry talaga, the first thing that comes into my mind is beautiful. Because it's just beautiful to take up courage and open up some ugly parts of you to the world. Yung ganon. Sure, it might be scary, ganon, but definitely for me it's worth it. If you're just able to achieve your why, or the purpose why you're doing it in the first place. And as for my part, as I've mentioned earlier, just let people feel loved and be assured that any emotion, any feeling is valid. Your thoughts are valid with me, and you are not alone. So I'm gonna be sharing, speaking of self-expression, to share oneself with the rest of the world. So I'll be sharing this short video again. So it's entitled "To the One That Got Away."
11:43 p.m. Today is a really bad day. My favorite kitten died, and I'm left alone in this stupid apartment. If only you're here, things could have been easier. It's been 16 days, tell me. How am I supposed to get back on track when all I could ever think about is you and all the other things I've lost? Tell me, how am I supposed to wake up each day with a smile on my face when there are still remnants of you around, like your favorite cop sitting on the spot where a lost conversation happened? I have been broken before you, but after you, I didn't know that I would shatter. 11:51 p.m. Today is a really bad day. My favorite kitten died, and all I do is grieve and drink. If only you're here, you'd probably sing me a song and hold me in your embrace until I could no longer remember all the things I've lost, like my favorite kitten, or you. I lost you. And I don't know how to say this that will make you come back, but please, I'll be waiting. 11:59 p.m. I'm still a mess, but please call me back when you're ready.
So yeah, this is actually my first like my first recording talaga. And that was something that I made like few days lang after a breakup. So very fresh pa for me yung feelings. Tas yung time na yun talaga, I was grieving so hard. And as much as I don't want people to know what's going on sa life ko, writing or like creating has been my way of healing myself. So, nalala ko lang when I first like published, I was really hesitant kasi expected ko na marami namang magbe-message sa akin ng mga friends ko na ayun ka na naman, nagsasad girl ka na naman. So, para sa akin, it was an act of bravery for me. Kasi, alam mo yun, despite na masakit and despite na people parang will judge or parang may sasabihin sila about sa'yo, I still push it through because I believe na may ibang tao na makakapag-resonate din with it, and who knows, 'di ba? Who knows na makarating din sa right person. So, ayun, spoken word artists must be fearless authors. So, keep in mind that you're not writing an election speech, but you are conveying a message that is clear, concise, and a powerful one, which is your message. It's an opportunity to bridge tough topics and dig into the pent-up emotion and opinions you might normally deem as unacceptable. So, dito sa statement na to, I think one example that I could take siguro is that when you are a boy or when you're a man, the society would tell us na hindi ka dapat mag-show ng emotion because, you know, that's a sign of weakness, it's a sign of, wag na yan, ano ba yan? Dapat astig tayo, dapat masculine energy, yung ganon. So, but for me, no, it's 2022 na, let's normalize men expressing their emotions. Let's not call them names just because umiyak siya. Parang hindi ka bawasan ng pagkalalaki yung mag-express ng emotions as a boy. So it's normal, di ba? Boys are human beings then. They have feelings to process. They can cry just like girls. So kaya naman gumawa ako ng poetry, which is in response to the previous video that I made, which is entitled From the One That Got Away. So this is from the boys' point of view. And I just want to give Neil a shout out. Thanks for doing this collaboration with me. I really appreciate that.
3:20 a.m. Hey, how are you? I've heard about Alexa, your favorite kitten. How long has it been? 6 months? I've heard you moved out and quit your job. Tell me, how are you coping up? 3:31 a.m. Look, I am sorry. And I wish I could have done something better instead of sending this stupid voicemail. I wish I was mature and brave enough to talk to you. And I wish I could have held on a little longer. 3:45 a.m. Hey, I've heard you had a really tough time. I've heard you spent most of your nights crying and drinking and questioning yourself. It's midnight. And I don't know how to say this, but I want you to stop dwelling. I want you to get up, fix yourself, and move forward. I want to see that vibrant girl with big dreams. I want to see you conquer the world and get your dream job and see more of the beauty like how we used to imagine it would be. Sometimes it gets a little tough, but I know you can get through. You're strong. You've always been strong. 3:57 a.m. Well, there are some things that are meant to shatter. There are also those that are meant to heal. So please, I want you to stop waiting for me. Instead, breathe, fly high with your dreams, even without me.
So that's it. So actually nung sinulat ko yan, matagal-tagal ko rin natapos yun kasi I feel like the boy's point of view is like the closure that I wanted to have, I wanted to receive, pero hindi ko na-receive from that person. So I made it my own para lang to let myself believe na it's over. Ganon. So that was my first step to healing talaga, to write. So when architecting a spoken word poem, don't be afraid. Don't hold back. Even when your voice is cracking, kahit masyadong maraming emotions na nangyayari sa'yo inside, don't hold back. When you perform, remember that it is your spotlight. It is your story. So you own it. And if you're still thinking whether na i-share yung story mo or not because you're afraid na i-judge ka or you get criticized, honey, this is your sign. Charlang, this is your sign to do it. Because if hindi mo naman i-share yung story mo, then who else will? Diba? So, thank you so much. Agad hinihingal ako. Parang dami kong nalabas na sama ng loob. Thank you so much, everyone, for this session. Thank you for listening. And I hope that you learned something and that probably you get inspired. Sana, hopefully, that's the goal talaga. After all, yun talaga yung goal ko for others to be inspired to write and perform na rin. So yeah, if you have any, may naisip pala ako. Since spoken word enthusiast tong mga taong to dito. May ano ba kayo, like spoken word poetry na you wanted to perform? Kasi if meron,
Sample.
Meron ba dito gustong, may pa-Gcash sana ako eh. Kasi
may pa-Gcash na.
Yes, magsasad talaga akong Gcash if ever may gustong mag-perform like right now. Well, I don't really mind though. Pero, sige, ganito na lang. So, offer up the impact dito. Diba? Kahit 2 persons lang. Oh my God, I see a lot of people raising their hands. Oh my God, nakaka-excite. Sige, let's start first with Lexley.
Yes, Lexley.
Hello, Lexley.
Hello. Okay. I learned that repetition is very important, especially in spoken poetry, since it is more on emphasizing a certain point, in emphasizing a feeling. It's not really it's I think it's quite different on written poetry wherein a person just reads your words, but in spoken poetry, you're actually articulating your voice, and I think that repeating what you're saying is really an effective way of doing so, and conveying your message in a very
So, what is my takeaway about this workshop is kung may gagawin
yung sa response,
Yeah.
yung sa male's response. I really thought na kasi sa isip ko kasi parang kapag naririnig ko yung spoken word poetry, I'm stuck with those Filipino na mga pieces. Talagang hanggang dun lang yung sumasagi sa isip ko. But then when I saw that piece, I was really shocked na pwede rin palang paglaruan yung mga yung thoughts natin sa English in that way, no? Yung sa style mo po. So I want to share sana po.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Isang piece po. This is a work in progress na piece, pero yeah. Just wanna share.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Go, Dean.
So yeah. Yung title nito is yung naisip ko na title nito when I created this one is Colors of the Rain. Okay. In the rainy days, all feelings are set to be filled. In the atmosphere of the sun, up to the coldest winter, to the drops of the rain that keeps on remembering, and the wind that keeps clamoring. I am seeing your shadow, traveling beneath the shallow waters. I am seeing your smile, lurking from your gloomy lights, hiding somewhere in the fogs. penetrating my darkness. In a blink of an eye, you caught me, and suddenly I recognized your light. Yours is relentless, gloomy, but fearless. I feel as if I have the greatest encounter. Then time flies and the rain stops. You lifted your light, and I showered on the glares of you. I got the wide smile, and you got wild. You are the best light and the worst dark. You are the best glare, and I am the naive fighter. You are the fancy glitch, and I am the cozy irony. A fixed trouble that sends us to the crowded streets. Rain feels like a reminiscing chain. A fixed trouble that sends us to the crowded streets. A harmonious pixels of our past feels. It's not the sounds of the raindrops that sets the feel. It's not the senses that puts us to the stale moments, but it's the heart that commemorized. Yun lang po. I just cut
Oh my God,
na lang kasi medyo ano siya. But this is inspired po by your pieces po. Pumunta na lang ako sa last part niya kasi last time yun na-challenge rin ako to create something like what you did. And yeah, I really thank you po for sharing your talent po sa public.
Oh my God, naiiyak ako. Sorry. Oh my God, that was really beautiful, Neil. Like the whole time na nakikinig ako, parang lumulutang lang ako. Yung ganong feeling. Like nadala ako sa ibang dimension. Like, oh my God. Oh, yung heart ko. Thank you so much for that, Neil. At dahil dyan, may pa-Starbucks tayo. Charo. Pero thank you so much. So, Lexley, Charisse, and Neil, please message me agad, like within the day, para ma-claim niya yung prize niyo. And natutuwa talaga ako kasi ang dami pala talagang, like, may potential, like, magagaling talaga dito. And I believe hindi lang si Neil, tayong lahat, we all have that, like, parang poetic side. Siguro hindi pa tayo nasaktan ng sobra kaya hindi pa lumalabas. Pero wait niyo lang yung time na pero ang dami kasing advantages when you write as a self-expression. Kasi over the years that I've been battling din my anxiety and depression. Tapos isa sa mga nakahelp talaga sa akin is through journaling. Like nakakapag-release ako ng sentiments ko doon. So, tas makakapag-share din ako to people. Tapos I'm happy na nakakapag-resonate sila with it. Like, thank you so much, guys. And yeah, anything else? Biglang nag-speech, kaloka.
Hi, Miss July. I guess our participants are still thinking for what to ask. I have one question for you, Miss July.
Oh my God, kinakabahan ako, Chid.
Something personal, charot. So, in your experience as a spoken word poetry enthusiast, what are the struggles that you faced and how does the art spoken word poetry affect you?
Oh my God, that's a really good question. No? Like, yung pinaka-struggle ko talaga, like, to be honest, is the act of, the process of writing talaga. Like, sa pag-create pa lang, like, sa pag-put pa lang ng, pag-name ng emotions na nafe-feel mo. And, like, to put in the paper, yun talaga yung main struggle ko. Kasi it takes me a lot of time, like, to be honest. Hindi ako, like, for example, what do you call this? Hindi ako yung siguro I'm the type of person na nakakapagsulat lang when I feel something intense or I feel something deeply. Yun yung time na nakapagsulat ako. Tapos, pag sobrang happy naman ako, like, nakakapagsulat pa rin, pero, walang sad girl effect. Tapos, how I overcome that is that I keep practicing. I keep writing. Like, every day talaga, it's a part of my routine to write on my journal. Like, stream of consciousness writing. Like, kung anong naiisip ko ngayon, like, nire-write ko lang talaga. Like bahala na. Kasi, it's my way din of, like, practicing my brain. Tapos, one thing din na ginagawa ko is, nag-watch talaga ako ng mga spoken word videos para lang like mas mabalik ko yung like for example yung nawalang burn in me. So yeah, that's basically it. And we have someone from the chat. Rosalie, can I have my input po, ma'am? Yes, sure.
Hello,
Go ahead.
ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello po.
Okay lang, ma'am. Klaro lang.
Yes.
Hello. Okay, by the way, I'm Rosalie Escala Sharif. I'm one of the faculty of Western Mindanao State University, and at the same time, I am the theater moderator of University Theater Guild. So my ma'am is that poetry is a literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen. So I actually, ma'am, I'm fond also of writing scripts and at the same time poetry like that, ma'am. So yun. So maybe I can share here the recent, I don't know if we can call this under poetry, but then this, I think monologue or poetry,
Wow.
spoken word poetry, which I just wrote this, ma'am, just recently. And ano siya, part siya. Ito yung isa sa mga lines or voice over na nasa bagong film na ginagawa namin. So, ewan ko lang, ma'am, kung ano. So, ito po siya. So,
Yes,
a boy crawls through the bushes, catching caterpillars, putting them into jar to watch them move and grow or die or turn into a butterfly. Creatures who are indifferent to such curiosity that lie beyond their conscious representations. He lay silently a while longer, breathing lightly, as if the complete silence would restore things to their true and natural state. Struggling. Why has it become so difficult to grow tall enough to see over the solid wall of common consciousness? Do not cry. Crying is for girls. Stop acting like a girl. How do we learn to tell the truth from illusion when we are all thirsty for reality in this desert of lies? How the world changes and how you change as well. You are known by one name only, yet that which is named after you is not you alone. How everything changes. You're tired of waiting and being on the verge of something. You died many times, deep down among the graves. Cast a veil over the past. Sink to the depths of your being, where you can dissolve and resolve. You arrange the atoms in your body and imagine yourself flying. Now I do realize you are I, and I am you. How can we find
Na-mute? I'm sorry. Na-mute ba si Miss Rosalie?
Hello? Na-mute, ma'am?
Na-mute po
Na-mute
kayo.
na. Ay, na-mute siya since kanina pa, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, the title of that piece, ewan ko lang kung pumasok siya kanina.
Ayos
Is
po, like na-cut lang siya nung nagsalita.
Nakatrag.
Yes po.
Na-mute, ma'am.
Go ahead,
And
continue po.
metamorphosis po. Hello?
Yes po.
Yun, ma'am. Yun po, ma'am, yung piece na recently na sinulat ko. Pero ano siya, actually, ano to siya, voice over to sa film na ginagawa namin.
Wow.
So, yun, ang title po nun is Metamorphosis.
So, may question po ako, Ma'am Rosalie.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your inspiration po in writing that? Or like, what's your ting moment? Paano po kayo nakaka-come up dun?
Actually, ma'am, merong ano, ma'am, like, ano ba yan, call for film submission. So, about siya, ma'am, LGBTQ, and yung theme nila, ma'am, is mag-focus yung story sa mga, particularly sa mga trans. So, actually, ma'am, itong story na to, ma'am, is, ano siya, ma'am, like, sinulat ko siya, ma'am, based sa theme na ibinigay nila, and at the same time, ano siya, ma'am, story to siya, ma'am, ng kapatid ko, ma'am, na trans.
Wow.
Na trans. At siya din mismo yung isa sa mga actor, siya yung lead actor ng film na to, ma'am, na transgender woman. Yun, ma'am. So, yun. So, based ang story na to, ma'am, sa kanya, ma'am, kung ano yung mga na-experience niya din. Kaya, ano siya, like, siya yung pinaarte ko, ma'am, kasi mas malapit sa kanya. And yung mga ibang mga actors din, ma'am, na parang like ganito kasing story, ma'am, parang like tatlong generations ng trans, paano siya naging trans. So, yun. So, lahat din ng mga kinuha ko din, ma'am, na cast is like, ano sila, gay din sila, part din sila ng LGBTQ. So, yun.
Wow.
So, actually, yung story, ma'am, based sa kapatid ko, sa story ng kapatid ko, ma'am, na isang trans.
That's so impressive po. Thank you so much po for sharing that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parang nakonect ko rin siya. Like, naisip ko lang, nakonect ko din yung sinabi ni Ma'am Rosalie kanina. Like, spoken word poetry is really telling a story. It doesn't really matter if story mo or story ng iba. Kasi nagets ko yung feels. Like, can you please read po again yung last stanza?
Saan po, ma'am?
Yung last stanza po.
Last stanza.
Yes po.
Yung cast avail or dun po, ma'am, how can we find?
I think dun po sa part na you are tired, aren't you?
You're tired.
Yes.
Eto, ma'am. You're tired of waiting and being on the verge of something. You died many times, deep down among the graves. Cast a veil over the past. Sink to the depths of your being, where you can dissolve and resolve. Rearrange the atoms in your body and imagine yourself flying. Now I do realize you are I, and I am you. How can we find out what our fate is? To die slowly, imprisoned in a cocoon, or to break forth at the end of time into immortal metamorphosis. Yun, ma'am.
Wow. Oh my
Yan
God.
po, ma'am.
Mas lalo siyang naging deep for me when you mentioned the backstory po na it's about your kapatid na from
Trans.
Na trans. Well, thank you so much po again for sharing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Emotional na naman ako. Oh my God. So sino pang gustong mag-share? Oh, naging sharing bigla. Or questions na lang?
Any other questions, participants?
Ayan, may nag-grace na naman. Si Neil. Hi, Neil. Yes.
Hello po again. Ako ulit. Gusto ko lang po sanang magtanong kasi for the pieces po na i-present and yung mga pieces niyo po sa YouTube. They have this kind of a storyline. Gusto ko lang po sanang itanong kung for your case, ano po ba yung magagandang storyline? I mean, paano po siya bubuuin as one piece from fragments of words. Tapos kasi just like yung sa piece mo po na nag-include ng time 3:45 AM and then bumalik na naman siya sa next, and it's kind of telling a story in a way na medyo from fragmented tapos nabuo siya. Yun lang po. Paano po kaya para sa iyo po, ano po yung powerful na storyline?
Thank you for that question. Actually, medyo napaisip din ako kasi sa totoo lang, yung way ko talaga sa pag-write ng storyline, or ganito na lang, before talaga ako nakakapag-write, like yung whole, kailangan kong isipin yung theme. And then, from that theme, I have to come up with a one line. Tapos, pag naka-come up na ako ng one line, dun yung mga dun ko na from there, i-expound ko na siya. Like, hindi ko alam if nag-gets niyo how I explain it, but yun yung na-mention ko kanina about gateway line. Let's go back to the slide. Sorry, mahirap akong mag-explain. Ganun. So, yeah. So, first talaga na ginagawa ko when before like writing talaga is I have to come up with a one line or para i-introduce yung yung overall na like ano yung point ng poetry na to. Like yung ganon. I don't know if I've answered your question, Neil, but can you please like elaborate pa more?
Yes, yes. Now I think I'm getting it. That is why you are using like for the other piece, yung I told myself to stop romanticizing pain.
Yes.
Am I right? Yeah.
Actually, sige, go ahead.
Okay. Ngayon ko lang din na-gets na yun pala, kaya pala parang inulit lang siya, tapos you're telling the story from after defining that kung ano yung feeling mo, tsaka the next one parang may levels na siya. So I think yun yung kind of storyline mo po.
It's like coming up with like a general idea, tapos you break it down to specific events.
Yes, na-notice ko rin po sa ngayon ko lang din po naisip yung time, yung my time 3:45 AM, tapos yung mga ganon.
Yes.
And yeah, I appreciate it. Salamat po, na-address na po yung tanong ko. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm glad na na-answer siya. My God, mahina pa naman ako pag like question and answer. May tendency ako na mag-panic. Hindi na organize yung thoughts. Kaya kailangan ko talagang magsulat para char lang. Sige, ano pang ibang question natin, guys? Kasi ito try ko talaga to like explain. If ever you do have questions, don't hesitate to, fire them. Actually, kwento ko na lang din na may upcoming spoken word album release ako this month. It's gonna be entitled Dear Michael. So, alam niyo yung kwento na lang din. In this, so, we fall in love with 3 people in this lifetime. The first love, second love, and then the third love. Swerte kayo if you are isang tao lang yan. But most cases kasi, tas yung lagi kong nababasa is that we fall in love talaga with 3 different people in lifetime. So the first love is the puppy love. This is the type of love na easy lang, like yung love na parang happy, ganon. Tapos here comes the second love naman na very difficult. Ito yung love na mapapa-question ka talaga sa mga principles mo sa buhay. Like this love is gonna hurt you big time. Tapos change ka talaga. I mean, yeah, so that's Dear Michael is all about. It's about the second love. The love that really hurts you in the core. So, ayun, kwento ko lang din kasi walang nagsasalita. So, anything else, guys?
Any questions, guys? I guess there are no questions.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, let's proceed. Thank you, Miss July, and of course, to our dear participants, especially Ma'am Rosalie. Thank you for being here. I can really feel the fire burning inside your hearts as a spoken word poetry enthusiast. Nagiging emotional na ang lahat. So now, to show our utmost gratitude to our speaker, may we call on our co-festival director, Ms. Syra Apple-Narit, for the giving of certificates. I will share my slide. Ms. Speaker.
Sure. I'll stop presenting.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I am very, very happy seeing you here. So as the co-festival director of sulAtNIMO Writing Festival, it is an honor for me to present the certificate to Ms. Jonalyn Orozco as our resource speaker on the sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Workshop, Spoken Word Poetry. Okay, so for a while, hindi namin na-present yung certificate. We're having a technical problem. But I hope everyone and the participants have learned a lot. I heard that Miss July really shared a lot of her knowledge and experiences as a spoken word poetry enthusiast. So thank you so much, Miss July. We are very honored to have you here. And now we have the certificate. Okay, let me read it again. So this certificate is presented to Ms. Jonalyn Orozco as our resource speaker on the sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Workshop, Spoken Word Poetry at LaSalle University via Google Meet, given this May 11, 2022. This is signed by the co-festival director of sulAtNIMO, Earl Hendricks S. Reyes, signed by the co-festival director of Musicanimo, we have Ray and Christian Amakda, and signed by yours truly, the co-festival director of sulAtNIMO, and signed by the festival director of the Ania LaSalle Harvest of the Arts, Mr. Ted Nugent Takal. Thank you so much, Ms. July Orozco, and congratulations for the successful talk and discussion with our participants.
Thank you so much, Miss Syra. Thanks, Jid. Thanks, everyone. I really had fun.
And that ends our workshop. Thank you to our speaker, Ms. Jonalyn July Orozco, for sharing your time and talent to our aspiring artists. Every single individual at this workshop seemed completely absorbed by your discussion. It is a tremendous honor for us to have you as our speaker today. We would not have been able to pull off a fantastic workshop without your support. We were only able to make our program a success due to your willingness to give your time for us. There is so much more to learn from your knowledge and experience. Also, we would like to thank our festival director, Mr. Ted Nadjantakan, to the co-director of sulAtNIMO, Ms. Syra Apple-Narit, and the rest of the team. And of course, to our dearest participants from all over Misamis Occidental and outside the region. Lasallian students, thank you for participating. Before we end this workshop, we would like to invite you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to sulAtNIMO Creative Writing Poetry Workshop. And also reminding everyone to please don't forget to scan the QR code flashed in your screens for your attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends our workshop. I hope that you had fun and may this inspire, motivate, and drive you to continue writing. Once again, this is Chid Tim Tim, your MC for today, saying thank you, take care, and may God bless us all.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello po, how to scan the code?
You can open your camera, your application, like the camera. That will
Using
scan
my phone.
automatically.
I'm using my phone po currently.
Can everyone scan the QR code? Everyone scan the QR code, especially those who registered. Please let us know if you cannot scan the QR code.
No.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for participating.
Panaglambigit 2022 LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022. Panaglambigit 2022 LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022. Panaglambigit 2022 LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022. Panaglambigit 2022, LaSalle University Family Days. Building communities to transform lives. Panaglambigit 2022.